What's good? What's good? And welcome back to the Nameless Sports Podcast, the second official episode of this podcast. I'm by myself today. I know it's a very lonely situation, but it's all good. I'll do it by myself, I guess. We'll make it work. Today, we got a couple of topics here. Just recently, at the time of recording right now, it is 7:12 p.m., so 12 minutes ago, officially, the 2021 NFL schedule was released. The biggest season ever, with now 272 games in the NFL season. One less week of preseason, but one more week of the regular season. Should be a very fun time. Also today, because this man's been all over the place, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where he's going. I don't even know if he's actually upset. Aaron Rodgers is a topic of discussion. I'll do my best to give my opinion on Aaron Rodgers and what his situation is. I have no idea what's going on in Green Bay. You got problems on problems over there, but we're not going to get into that yet. What we are going to get into is the 2021 NFL schedule, which was released today, and it was revealed earlier today, this morning. The very first game of the NFL season is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. My Dallas Cowboys. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, coming off of that stomping of the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs on February 7th, 2021, I believe, was the date of Super Bowl 55. Tom Brady winning his seventh ring, giving Bruce Arians his first as a head coach and the Buccaneers' second in franchise history. They will take on my Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott coming off of the horrific ankle injury that took place in October. A Cowboys team that, got to be honest, even with Prescott, struggled. That defense, atrocious to look at. They made some moves in the draft. Biggest name, of course, Micah Parsons was the 10th pick, the 12th pick in the 2021 NFL draft, adding to the linebacker core of Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. Jabril Cox also joined that linebacker group, filling the gap that is left by Sean Lee and his retirement. And then, of course, that Buccaneers team, like I mentioned, Super Bowl champions, managed to get all of their starters back. Each of the 22 starters that played in Super Bowl 55 in Raymond James Stadium at Tampa Bay, Florida, every single one of the members who were a part of that team that stomped Patrick Mahomes and his boys were able to come back, which is big for Tampa, heartbreaking for me, heartbreaking for the South of the NFC. It's way too early to give predictions, but you know what? I'm going to. We're going to lose this game. We're going to lose this game. Uh, what a first test for this new defense, man. The NFL just, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's better than potentially being a playoff team. I know we're in the NFC East, and the Dallas Cowboys, they're not going to be a playoff team. What are you talking about? It's not doing that. It's potentially being a playoff team, and then Tampa screwing us over at the end really put me in a sour mood during the holidays. So I'll take it. I mean, it's whatever. You get one. I'll start week one. It's better than playing them when we're in a situation to actually do something. But not just focusing on week one. I should also focus on the entire prime time schedule, because that is a prime time game. So why not focus on the entire prime time schedule of the NFL, starting with Sunday Night Football on NBC. Also on Peacock TV. Shout out to Peacock. You're absolutely terrible. Hate Peacock. But I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, like I mentioned, the Cowboys Bucks start the NFL season on NBC, but just 3 short days later, week one officially gets in the swing with the first Sunday night football game of the year. Matt Stafford and his brand new home in sunny Los Angeles. And the Rams, they see a familiar face for old Matt Stafford and the Chicago Bears, but it's not a familiar quarterback. It will either be Andy Dalton or the new Chicago Bears quarterback post NFL draft, Justin Fields. A week later, Patrick Mahomes takes on Lamar Jackson. I believe this is the third meeting between the two quarterbacks. Fourth, this is the fourth meeting. I think, I believe this is the fourth meeting. Mahomes won the first. Mahomes won the second. And I believe the third one was the Monday Night Football game. But I'm now going to fact check that before I do anything else here. Let's see. So, in fact, this is going to be the fourth meeting, yes, between the two quarterbacks, as Mahomes won the first meeting in 2018 during that red hot season where they hosted the AFC Championship game against Tom Brady. Uh, Then Mahomes won the second meeting, and this third meeting was just last season on Monday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns, I believe, he threw in that game. Should be a good one. It's always a good one when the Ravens and the Chiefs square off. Once again, they'll do it in M&T Bank Stadium on primetime television. But the following week, we mentioned the rumors. We don't know what's going on with this man. But as of right now, he is a Green Bay Packer, and that means he would be taking on Trey Lance as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers would head to Santa Clara to meet the San Francisco 49ers. But the following week, the game of the year, in my opinion, it might not be the greatest game, but it's the game that everybody's going to be watching. Tom Brady returns to Gillette Stadium for the first time. He's playing a professional football game in Gillette Stadium for the first time since that 2020 wild card game against the Tennessee Titans. It is Brady versus Belichick numero uno. For the very first time in Tom Brady's career, he will be matching up against Bill Belichick. I believe this is the first time. And even though Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, this will finally answer the question that everybody is looking for, which is who was the number one source of those 6 Super Bowl banners hanging in the stadium Brady returns to on October 3rd. And the following week, we have an AFC Championship rematch. Brady's old rivals in the Buffalo Bills go up against Brady's newest rival in Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs' second Sunday night football game of the year, but it'll be the first one in Arrowhead for the new year. And the following week, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks go to Pittsburgh to play a Steelers team and a Steelers defense. And that Steelers team, that of course, we know how they ended the year last season. Started won 11 straight games, ended up losing their next 4 out of 5 before losing to the Cleveland Browns in the first week of playoff football. The Browns embarrassed the Steelers on national television. It'll be the Steelers' first primetime game on NBC since that wild card game. And the following week, Carson Wentz gets his first Sunday night football game as a member of the Indianapolis Colts. He'll take on Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers. Trey Lance and those Niners get two Sunday night football games. And I'm saying Trey Lance because I assume the starter is going to be Trey Lance, but I also forgot that Jimmy Garoppolo is very much still alive and there. on that San Francisco 49ers team. The next week, Halloween, is going to happen in Minnesota as my Dallas Cowboys will travel to Minnesota. We don't. Last year, we did well against Minnesota in Minnesota. The year before, we got beat on Sunday Night Football in Arlington, Texas, against the Minnesota Vikings. I'll tell you my predictions at a different time, man. This team is. Oh boy. All right. Anyways, back in the swing of things. The next week, King Henry and the Tennessee Titans take on Matt Stafford and those Los Angeles Rams. He gets his second Sunday Night Football game as a member of the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams actually they're tied for the most primetime games of the year with 5, I believe, because everybody wants to see this Rams offense. And of course, on that defensive side of the ball, if you didn't forget, Jalen Ramsey also there. But I mean, there's also this guy, he wears number 99. Probably never heard of him, but his name's Aaron Donald. Probably want to look out for him too. The week later, the Chiefs get their third Sunday Night Football game and their last Sunday Night Football game as they travel to Las Vegas, where in Allegiant Stadium there is going to be a nightclub. But I mean, that doesn't really matter because I feel like the Chiefs are going to stomp this team out. But who cares? Chiefs Raiders on November 14th. The following week, the Steelers go to SoFi Stadium. It'll be Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth's third visit of the season to SoFi, but this time not to watch a Rams game, to watch a Chargers game, as Justin Herbert's going to match up against Big Ben Roethlisberger. And then just 4 days later on Thanksgiving, the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen take on, is it Taysom Hill? Is it going to be Jameis Winston? Who knows, But the most important thing that we do know is that they're going to be in the Superdome for Thanksgiving as the Bills play their second Thanksgiving game in the past 3 years. Also, Ian Book could also be an option as starting quarterback for the Saints. It's the Saints' very first primetime game, I believe. No, it's the Saints' very first Sunday Night Football game since the Drew Brees retirement. And the following week, on Monday Night Football, there was magic created in the late season game. Lamar Jackson went to go take a dump, came back, and lit that Browns team on fire in what is considered to be last season's game of the year. The Ravens meet the Browns on week 12, 3 days after Thanksgiving. And the following week, the first Sunday Night Football game of December, it's never going to be Sunday Night Football without a good old San Francisco 49ers Seattle Seahawks matchup. It could be Trey Lance, but then again, it could be Jimmy G. But all we know is that a healthy 49ers team, potentially healthy 49ers team, will be meeting with Russell Wilson again. And the week after, there's still so many questions going into the season. But I mean, once again, I'm assuming nothing's been said yet other than Adam Schefter getting everybody in their feelings in Green Bay, Wisconsin on draft day and then coming out and saying it might not be true because Rodgers didn't say anything. Who knows? But what we do know is that the Bears are going to Lambeau week 14. And the week after, the Saints go to Tampa Bay. Last season, the Saints went to Tampa Bay and delivered a beatdown on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football. Tampa Bay, of course, got the last laugh, not only winning the Super Bowl, but also eliminating the Saints in the Superdome on the road to Lombardi number 2 for Tampa Bay and Lombardi number 7 for Tom Brady. But the day after Christmas, the next week, in Arlington, Texas, the Dallas Cowboys host the Washington football team in what could honestly be a game for the NFC East here at week 16. I mean, there's 2 more weeks of football. I almost forgot about that, but this, unless this division Yeah, while it was the laughing stock of the league last year, I feel like this division it could turn some heads this year. You never know. I mean, something could happen. Something could happen, but I think this could probably be the game for the division. And then the next week, the last confirmed Sunday night football game. There is going to be a Sunday night football game the week after, but I believe it's going to be kind of a flex schedule thing. So a game with playoff implications will probably be flexed into week 18. But as of right now, the last Sunday night football game that we know is confirmed to be on the roster is the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau on January 2nd. That is the Sunday night football lineup. We know what the game of the year in all those slated games is. We know it's coming in week 4 when Tom Brady returns to Gillette. But what about Thursday night football? Or not even just Thursday night football? The football that's going to take place on the NFL Network, on Fox, and on Prime Video. Well, for all the games exclusively on the NFL Network, we can tell you that the first Thursday night football game, the first 3 Thursday night football games of the year are all going to be exclusively on Thursday night football. Those games, of course, being the Giants and the Washington football team, the Panthers and the Texans, and Trevor Lawrence takes on Joe Burrow as the Jags travel to Cincinnati. Another NFL Network exclusive game, though, no, one of the last 3 confirmed NFL Network exclusive games is one of the games taking place in London as the New York Jets and Zach Wilson go overseas to take on the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan. Also, the another NFL Network exclusive game. The San Francisco 49ers take on the Tennessee Titans. And the last confirmed NFL Network game that is exclusively on the NFL Network, the Colts and Carson Wentz travel to the desert on Christmas Day as a part of the doubleheader to take on Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, and the Arizona Cardinals. Now, for all the games on Fox, NFL Network, and Amazon Prime Video. We start with the first Thursday night football game of the season that will be broadcast on Fox. That is Matt Stafford. That is the Los Angeles Rams. They travel to Seattle to see Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. A week later, Tampa Bay and Tom Brady travel to Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, and the 2021 Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith. The week later, Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater or Aaron Rodgers travel to Cleveland to take on Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. In week 8, the Green Bay Packers, who, again, Aaron Rodgers could be the quarterback or Jordan Love. They go to the desert as well to take on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. The week later, Zach Wilson meets up with Carson Wentz as the Jets travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Baltimore makes their Thursday night football debut for the season as they go to Miami to take on Tua and the Dolphins in a Super Bowl 51 rematch with a different Patriots team, of course. The Patriots go to Atlanta to take on that team of Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitts, Julio Jones, etc. and the Atlanta Falcons. We also don't know if Julio will actually be in Atlanta at this time, but who knows? Of course, they skip week 12 through to that being Thanksgiving, but the week later in the Superdome, the Dallas Cowboys take on the New Orleans Saints. And the following week, you have Steelers Vikings. Week after that, Mahomes versus Herbert 2. probably 3 at this time because it's week 15. The Chiefs take on the Chargers in SoFi, where Justin Herbert made his NFL debut against the team he made his NFL debut against. Week 15 is going to have a doubleheader. That matchup is to be announced, of course. Week 16, which we've discussed, is live on the NFL Network, of course, only exclusive on the NFL Network. That is Niners Titans, and the kickoff for the Christmas Day doubleheader. The Browns take on the Packers in Lambeau, and it's probably going to be snowing. What would you say is the biggest game of this NFL Network schedule? If you look at it right now, there's just not enough set in stone right now. But I would say right now that the game of the biggest game of this schedule would probably be that Rams Seahawks game, which will be the first Thursday night football game on Fox for the year. No other game here seems as big as that one. Or, I mean, it could also be the Browns Packers if Rodgers stays. Aaron Rodgers, he throws a loop in everything right now because we don't even know if half of these games are going to be as good as they really are. But that's the NFL Network schedule. Monday Night Football has a schedule as well. We heard earlier today it starts with the Ravens and Raiders. But the following week, Jared Goff and the Lions travel to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. The following week, the Dallas Cowboys make their home debut against the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 4, the Raiders travel to Los Angeles to take on their division rival in the Chargers. The following week, Wentz versus Jackson, Colts versus Ravens. In week 6, Bills, Titans, and a big time game in week 7, the Saints take on the Seahawks. Though next week, the Giants go to Arrowhead to see Mahomes and the Chiefs. Week 9, the Bears take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 10, it is Stafford and company against Lance or Garoppolo and company as the Rams take on the Niners. Week 11, Giants Bucks. Week 12, Seahawks football team. Week 13, another AFC East or another divisional game, but this time in the AFC East as the Pats take on the Bills. That could be Mac Jones or Cam Newton at quarterback for that game. But what we do know is that Mitch Trubisky, unless something happens to Josh Allen, will not be starting for the Buffalo Bills in that game. Week 14, the Los Angeles Rams take on the Arizona Cardinals. Week 15, we have Vikings Bears. Week 16, we have Dolphins Saints. And of course, with the extra week, you get a week 17 Monday night football game for the first time ever, I believe. And the game that has that honor is the game in Pittsburgh that it'd probably be a couple of weeks before the anniversary of the day the Steelers 2020-21 season died at the hands of the teams that they play in this week 17 Monday Night Football game, the Cleveland Browns. The biggest game on this list right now, I could say, would probably be that week 17 Brown Steelers game. You don't know what this division is going to look like. Are the Steelers going to be able to recapture some of that magic that they had in the 2020-21 season, besides the ending, of course? Are the Browns for real? We saw the Browns last year. They finally made it back to the playoffs. I think the Browns are for real, but can they prove that they are legit with a win against the Steelers that could potentially give the Browns an AFC North title? That right now is all the primetime games for the NFL season. big time games there. Loads of great games in the prime time slot on Thursday Night Football, on Monday Night Football, on Sunday Night Football, of course. Remember, there's only 3 weeks of preseason, and because of the extra week of football. Now, I'd be remiss, since I'm the only one here, and as a Cowboys fan, I'm going to go over the Cowboys schedule. I feel like I have to, and I'll give my thoughts on it. It's not going to be probably is not going to be a lot of positive thoughts, but we'll make some more. All right. So of course we know the Cowboys start the season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The next week they have a home away from home game in SoFi Stadium as they take on the Chargers at 3:25 p.m. They then, of course, make their home debut on Monday Night Football as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles. They stay home for the next 2 weeks to take on both the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold, and, of course, the New York Giants in Week 5. Of course, last year in Week 5, Prescott had his ankle injury. At the same time period this game is taking place, gotta hope history doesn't repeat itself. I sure hope it doesn't, because history repeats itself. Jeez. All right. All right. The Vikings, of course, after the Patriots are next on the schedule. That is in Foxborough. They then get a bye week for week number 7 before the Halloween Sunday night game against the Vikings. I wish Philip was here because I really wanted to talk about this game with him, but he's not here, so I'll talk about it. I'll talk to him on a later date. But for week number 9, Broncos come to Arlington to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I've done my research here, and the Dallas Cowboys have not beat the Denver Broncos in almost about 20 years. So a victory here would be very much appreciated because I do not want to talk to Philip if we lose. Anyways, we play the Falcons. We play the Falcons the following week in Arlington, and then we go to Arrowhead, which it's a late season game, but I'm happy with it because considering we, do okay here, this wouldn't hurt playoff chances too much. But we do go to Kansas City in what will probably be the game of the week for that week. And then 4 days later, the Cowboys, of course, do their annual hosting of a Thanksgiving game as they take on my dad's team in the Las Vegas Raiders. Then the following week, of course, the New Orleans Saints on Thursday Night Football, and then they get a good 10 days of 9 days of rest before their next game, which is the Washington Football Team on the road in Washington, and then of course they go to New York for the game 7 days later against the Giants. Then it's back to Arlington for Washington and Arizona the next week, and then they finish the season in Philadelphia against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, as a Cowboys fan, I cannot tell you with confidence that we can win more than 10 games on this schedule because I know this team. I know this team. I can't get my hopes up. I can't get my hopes up. And it's not out of fear of being a stereotypical Cowboys fan, because I'm not like that. The stereotype for Cowboys fans are, oh, well, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're gonna win. Right. Super Bowl Lombardi Trophy number 6 coming out. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Tom Brady still alive? It's not gonna happen. Patrick Mahomes still alive? It's not gonna happen. But I can tell you right now with confidence that this team can most likely win the division if we stay healthy. But I can't tell you. I can't confirm. I'm 70% confident that this team can win the division. 70% confident. Because I really don't know. You really don't know with this team. Defensively, they were atrocious to look at last year. Dan Quinn came in. Dan Quinn, of course, experienced, coached that legendary Legion of Boom team. Hoping he can lead the Cowboys defense to the same success as that Legion of Boom team. But I look at this schedule and I tell you games that we can win. I think we can sweep the Eagles. We can get the Chargers. I feel like we can get old Sam Darnold and the Panthers. I feel like we can we can split with the Giants. I feel like we can get the Patriots. We can get Denver. We're definitely losing to Kansas City and Tampa Bay. I feel like we can get Atlanta. I feel like I'm confident we can get New Orleans and Las Vegas. I feel like we'll split with Washington, and I feel like we're going to lose to Arizona. But the problem is, that's like 4 losses. This team is going to lose more than 4 games. So my prediction at the end of the day doesn't really matter. But maybe that's just wishful thinking. Because we are liable to lose 8, 9, and maybe 10 of these games on the schedule. But I have confidence in my team. I'm a confident man with this team. So I'm going to ride with them like I always do. And if it's depressing, I'll be depressed with them. If it's exciting, I'll be excited with them. But if it's as tragic as last year, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I know another fan base that's really struggling right now. Ask the Green Bay Packers. Because there are loads of questions right now about the status of their quarterback. Not just their quarterback, but their quarterback situation. Especially regarding the man who wears number 12, Aaron Rodgers. Now, Ryan Wing of Fox 11 on May 8th said that he heard from multiple people the past 24 hours that they saw Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And the last sighting was near Lambeau. I don't know why Green Bay has a tracker on this man. I couldn't tell you why Green Bay has a tracker on this man. But I will tell you this. Aaron Rodgers, you got a lot to figure out, brother. I gotta be honest. And it's leaving the Packers with a lot to figure out as well. The Packers, of course, just signed Blake Bortles about an hour and 45 minutes before I started this recording. They announced that Blake Bortles is there. I also with Jordan Love, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. Nobody is to blame here but the Green Bay Packers. I mean, God, I'd be mad too. I mean, come on. This man was just in the NFC Championship game, and instead of adding weapons for him, instead of helping him, helping him out, throw to more people other than Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard, maybe grab a wide receiver or two, No. What did they do? In fact, they traded up to draft his replacement. They traded up to draft this young rookie named Jordan Love, which of course did not make a lot of people happy. And to be honest, I'm not even a Packers fan, and I was pretty unhappy with it. I mean, you have a once in a generation talent here. Once in a generation talent with Aaron Rodgers. There's not many people you have seen that can throw the football like that man Aaron Rodgers. And their initial reaction to being in the NFC Championship game was to draft the man for the future instead of drafting the man who can help the now. Which, of course, is not that bad of an idea. Of course, I get it. It's not that bad of an idea at all. Just trying to build for the future. But the problem here is that you have somebody who can get you to where you need to be now, and you didn't help him out. So I'd be mad too. I'd be mad too. But a lot can change. All those games I listed off, every single one of those could change. That week 9 matchup between the Chiefs and the Packers, that could change. That could change drastically. Because imagine going from the possibility of Mahomes Rodgers week 9 to Mahomes Bortles to Mahomes Love. I don't know. There's a problem there. But also, since Packers fans are just Broncos fans are just so adamant that they're definitely going to get Aaron Rodgers. The idea of Mahomes versus Rodgers twice a season, that's very appealing. Very appealing. And I'll leave it at that. So, the thumbnail said that I was going to talk about Deshaun Watson. That was a lie. We're not getting into that topic. We're not going to until it's all figured out. So, if you clicked on this video by some circumstance expecting me to talk about Deshaun Watson, I apologize for clickbaiting you, but you're not getting me talking about Deshaun Watson. You're not getting me talk about basketball. I could sit here and talk about the NBA and how my Lakers are struggling and how LeBron James is not returning tonight for the hanging of the banner number 17 and how we are current 7th seed in the play-in tournament of the NBA playoffs. I'm not going to talk about that. But we will talk about basketball. I guarantee sometime throughout the summer we're going to talk about basketball. But another topic of conversation this week, that's old Timmy Tebow like it's 2012. Tim Tebow, potentially a Jacksonville Jaguar tight end to add on to Trevor Lawrence being, of course, the number 1 pick for this said Jaguars team. Of course, they got some big time games coming up, and for Trevor Lawrence, I'm keeping my eyes on especially the matchup with Joe Burrow, the first time Lawrence and Burrow will face off since that fateful night in 2020 in January in the Superdome for the 2020 NCAA Football National Championship. Speaking of that day, the Vikings will start their season with the Bengals, and it will be the first time on camera that Burrow, Chase, and Jefferson will all be under the same roof playing football since the night they became college football national champions. But we're not talking about that. We were talking about it, and I probably will. But right now, it's about Tim Tebow. What are my opinions on Tim Tebow? How do I feel about Tim Tebow being up for grabs for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Let's put it like this. Tim Tebow, who has not played in a professional football game, not just the NFL, a professional football game since 2012, is given or is going to be potentially given the opportunity to more than likely be tight end one for the Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. A reminder for people who didn't watch football in 2011, 2012, around there. Tim Tebow was a quarterback. He was a quarterback for multiple teams: the Denver Broncos, Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Jets. Tim Tebow has an opportunity to come back and play a position he's never played before. Tim Tebow also has one professional NFL target. I don't know who threw the ball to him, but what I do know is that he has one professional NFL target. Tim Tebow running some sort of trick play, I guess, against I think the Dolphins, who the Jets ran this trick play against. Tim Tebow does a swing around. He does almost like an end around. They snap the ball to who I believe was a wide receiver. Now, if this play, I think it was like 2nd and 10 or something. So this play wasn't going to go anywhere anyways. But the ball was thrown on this play, on this end around, where Tim Tebow was running a route essentially. Tim Tebow not looking for the ball, and the ball hit him in the head. That was potential Jacksonville Jaguars tight end one's only professional target. Tim Tebow then moved on to baseball. And yeah, I don't watch baseball, so I can't tell you if he did good. I know he was in the minor league, I think, or he was playing for some sort of team underneath the Mets or something. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But what I do know is that Tim Tebow was not a very good quarterback, at least in the NFL, because he was a Heisman winner, by the way. He was a Heisman winner. What was it? He was 2000, 2006, 2000. What was it? Tim Tebow, 2007 was Tebow. Speaking of that 2007 group, rest in peace to Colt Brennan, who was a finalist for that group. He played for the University of Hawaii. He died this past week, so I just thought I'd say rest in peace to him real quickly. Um, Tim Tebow, very great quarterback for the Florida Gators in college football. Tim Tebow, though, in the NFL, not so great. I'm gonna be honest with you, not so great. Uh, he has, of course, the one play that everybody remembers. Everybody knows it was the 80-yard reception by Demaryius Thomas on a normal Tim Tebow throw. Saw Skip Bayless earlier today say it was like one of the more impressive throws in NFL history. Is if you're a professional quarterback in the NFL, you should make that throw. Tim Tebow delivers on the throw, 80-yard reception for Demaryius Thomas. The Broncos move on to the divisional round where they got stomped. Tim Tebow as a professional quarterback in 11 games threw 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Tim Tebow had 1,729 yards. Tim Tebow never cracked 1,000 yards again because he couldn't start. because he wasn't a starter and he wasn't a starting quarterback. He was not good. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, though. 6 comebacks, six game-winning drives. I mean, whoa, what a guy! I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive. Of course, look, in only one of those drives did he have to end up throwing a touchdown or at least scoring a touchdown. But I'm sorry, in only 2 of them he had to end up running or throwing a touchdown for that drive to be successful. But I give him the benefit of the doubt. He got his team down there for the game-winning drive. But other than that, I mean, what can you tell me the greatness of Tim Tebow? Can you tell me the more iconic plays of Tim Tebow other than the 80-yard reception? Can you tell me the more iconic moments of Tim Tebow other than him? What was it? Tebowing was the thing? Called it Tebowing? All I know is that a man who has not played football, professional football, in 9 years, who went 8-6 as a quarterback, is potentially coming back to play a position that he didn't play. And to be honest, like some of the people in the Jacksonville Jaguars organization, I'm not too happy about it. But I do digress. And it will be very interesting to see a potential Lawrence to Tebow connection during this 2021 NFL season. And the schedule just got released. So if you didn't see it, maybe take a peek at it. Take a gander at it. Circle some games that may be important. Whoever your team is, look at this schedule. Look at some of the big time games on that list. But I told you all my big time games. And the biggest one of the year for me, even though it doesn't involve my team in any way, Brady returning to Gillette. And that is where I will leave this second episode of the Nameless Sports Podcast. I got through it all by myself, but granted, my voice is starting to die, so I'm going to close it here. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Like I'm on my real YouTube stuff now. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed what you heard from me. Normally, I'm joined by others who were busy today. I'll give them that. Before I go, I do want to apologize for the lack of podcasts that came out in around the 5-4 about the month that this podcast was gone. We actually did record a podcast that we ended up scrapping. That was the Friday before Askren versus Paul. That was the week Julian Edelman retired. We were going to talk about that. That podcast was off the rails. We were tired, and it just didn't go great. So we ended up scrapping that one. But that is no excuse for the lack of scheduling and all that. And we apologize for that. During the summer, you will get weekly podcasts more than likely. Other than for the weeks that we're all busy or we're gone, of course. But once, of course, we're finishing up with school, got deal with exams and stuff like that. But once we are finished with all of that, this podcast, you will be hearing a lot more weekly updates from us. And we will talk about basketball. I promise you. I promise. We're going to talk about basketball, except Philip. He probably won't. All right. That's going to do it. Again, if you enjoyed what you heard here, like, comment, subscribe. Give us a follow on the Instagram. We may do a TikTok because those blow up. I don't know about the TikTok situation, but we will try to make it work. This was Jordan Mays. This was the Nameless Sports Podcast, episode 2. We'll try to come back at you with weekly updates, weekly podcasts throughout the summer. Okay, I will see ya when I see ya. This was something.